Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to JV Live. This is actually episode 10. Believe it or not, I have been back doing this now for 10 weeks without a break. So, thank you for killing what little social life I actually had. And we actually have no viewers tonight. Oh, we've got David in the chat.
We've got David.
So, I would just like to say welcome to the panel. We once again outnumber the viewers. Which I'm not sure, but I think that means we're winning. So let's do our introductions, shall we? Martin, would you like to say hello to the people watching at home? And by people, I mean David.
And one viewer. Hi, David, and one viewer.
Keith, would you like to say hello?
Hello, David, and one viewer.
A bit.
Gord, would you like to wave hello? Seems as you're currently stuffing your face.
I'm alright, I've planned ahead. Hello David, hello guest. Welcome, and I apologise for the mess that you're about to see.
Oh, I don't want to warn anybody, but we now have 2 viewers. So
Almost
I will say on behalf of the rest of the panel, hello David, and
Famous.
2 viewers. I'm not sure, but the numbers are starting to go against us. Oh no, that's okay. The viewer was Keith. No, it's not, actually. God damn it. Oh, is it you? Okie dokie. So there we go. I don't have anything for us to talk about today. I had my rant last week about Amazon being cunts, and they finally delivered Saturday after I'd opened my first beer, so nothing got done until Sunday. And then there was a to go and get a graphics card because somebody can't read.
It wasn't Amazon.
No, it wasn't Amazon. Okay, it was my fault. But in my defense, had Amazon actually delivered at the time that they wanted, I would have known this well ahead of time and I was ahead.
Yeah.
So,
True.
there we go. Obviously, Keith will be leaving us early this evening because apparently he's got to go and do RY4 duties.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've got
Dr. Farceline.
Because they've got a very, very special guest on. I'm not sure who the special guest is because I haven't had an invitation.
They're not looking for that kind of special.
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
You're too special for RY4, Ryan.
Well, you know, I like to think so.
Hasn't RY4 extended the same invitation that VTTV has today? You're more than welcome at any time, as long as you don't turn up.
Yes.
That's not technically true. I have a knack of annoying people over on VTTV because I'm very critical about a few things. And I don't mean it harshly, it's just that's the way I am. I cause them as I sees them. I still think the guys and girls over at VTTV do a sterling job, and I think the guys and girls over at RY4 do a sterling job. It's just, I will be critical. And I expect somebody to be as critical over what I do as what I'm as critical of what other people do.
At the end of the day, we'll leave a lot of room for criticism. We're very nice like that.
I don't care. I contribute to 2 YouTube channels, and I put my stuff out there daily almost for people to actually take a shot at if they want. I'm actually kind of looking for somebody to take a shot because every now and then I get really angry when I'm at work and I need a way of venting. And I find YouTube comment sections are the best for it.
I'll bear that in mind, and at some time, when you're not expecting it, I will do you a favour and comment.
Oh, thanks, Gorge. You're the best.
But what I'll actually do is I'll message you and give you the personal touch.
Oh, I've actually had that from one of my YouTube videos. I had a personal message, which promptly got deleted because if I'd have kept it in the inbox, there would have been several messages going to that person from me and Fatboy. because it was about one of my videos, Candy Hooker Saga.
Can't remember if I clicked on that.
Basically, I was
Oh, it
asked.
is.
I was asked why I would put that on YouTube. It's grotesque and disgusting. I said, well, somebody made a game, I played it, and I put it on YouTube.
Yes, I think I watched that one.
Across YouTube.
Hey, all I'm saying is, it's a good job I was using Windows 8 at the time, because I really wanted to do destroy all the porn, but it doesn't work on Windows 8. You get so far and then you die. And if you've never played Destroy All the Porn, you really need to. It's a really good game.
She's okay.
Sean, we're all rubbish. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like I said, I really couldn't give a damn about criticism. I actually quite enjoy it. And sometimes it helps. It makes you work harder and makes you know where you're falling down. And you can improve the bits that people don't like. Or you can say, well, you know what, fuck you, this is my thing. This is the way I wanted to do it in the first place, and I'm not going to change because of you. And then 6 months down the line, when everybody's forgot you said that, you go, and I'm just going to try something different now.
And do what was suggested in the first place.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how fucking yourself on live camera would be helpful, though.
It's a skill very few people possess, one would assume.
Perhaps.
I'm not going to go and Google that, though.
Not a good idea at all.
There doesn't even need to be a Rule 34 in that sentence.
I don't think so.
I've not heard that for a while, the Rule 34.
Who had a tantrum? What? I don't get the tantrum thing. I haven't had a tantrum for nearly a week. That's not actually true. I had a tantrum before we started because I couldn't do the...
Yeah, yes, that's right, you did.
But those are all just, you know, it's one I'm like, if I can't do something, I show off. And then I put it down, and then I walk away from it, and then I come back to it, and then I do it, and generally I manage to do it fine. Although I do not want to speak to anybody in between. While I'm having that tantrum, it's probably best for nobody to ever speak to me, ever. Because very nasty words come out of my mouth.
Like
Anyway.
The bum crack.
Probably worse than that. So, how's everybody's week been?
Busy.
Yes, very.
Bit busy first half of the week, but yeah, rest of it's been alright.
Has anybody been up to anything this week?
Lots of driving.
I can't tell you what we've been up to. It's confidential.
Oh, that's no fun.
That means late night meetings with the VTTV. doesn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Well, your best is best plan is giving me a Fallout New Vegas. Yeah.
Couldn't hear what you were saying.
Go on, get in.
I've been down to Rugby, up to Carlisle, back down to Newport, up to Leeds today, and then Monday I'm going back down to Rugby. And I'll be there at 7.
I figured it out. For some reason, we're getting feedback off cords. Try. I'll do it from this end, but every time I do it from this end, it seems to fuck up for some reason. Good, if you mute your microphone and then unmute yourself, it should sort itself out. No. No, it's still going perfect for some reason.
It sounded like on. Do you remember what it sounded like on VTTV that time when you came? No, you're gone.
No. Hopefully, just read a quick restart of Google will fix it.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of times, these technical issues aren't actually down to the machine that you're working on. It's generally just down to Google. Because Google sucks.
He had that same problem when he came on my show on VTTV.
I think his volume was too loud or something, wasn't it? It was causing feedback in the mic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bear with me a second, because I've just got a notification from Steam that like the shit that I've been downloading since I've had to restart the computer is actually all working. No, I don't want any of you to download now. I'm doing a show.
They pick their moments, eh?
I did set it all to do overnight, but then the computer decided to go into sleep mode about halfway through.
As they do.
It's useful.
Yeah, so bloody fucking useful. You see, what happened was the computer crashed last night while I was doing the live stream of Fallout New Vegas, because I did plan to go on for about 2 hours. I wasn't just going to do the hour or whatever it was. So I was fighting the Deathclaws, and the computer crashed. And then when I went to restart it, it black screened.
Ah.
So something happened in between. And I tried the old school, unplug everything, keep pressing the power switch until the light doesn't come on, just purge the board of electricity, even took the little battery out inside on the motherboard.
Uh-huh.
No. Had to do a complete refresh of the system. Well, we have a Gord square, but we have no Gords.
No, we have boards with a black screen.
Yeah. I need a new computer.
You've not had that one long.
Yeah, but this was fucking all 3 years ago.
There you go.
Now you're back again.
Just playing catch up. There we go.
Sounds like you're all set again.
So yeah, so it was my birthday this week. It was also Martin's birthday this week.
Happy birthday to both of you.
Happy birthday, Martin. I missed that one.
Oh, it's alright. It's nothing exciting. Just another day. Or year, or whatever.
Sean, what's going on? Why can't you hear anything in stereo? Oh, you mean because of the... Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, the broken headphones. Fucking hate when that happens.
No, I think he means because we were getting feedback, we were hearing everything in stereo.
No, he busted his headphones.
Did he?
He did.
Well, if you didn't play so much Guild Wars 2.
Oh, yes. He's worn them out.
Stop throwing them at walls in frustration. Have a book or something nearby for that.
Oh, and it was Sean's on the 12th, so it was Sean's on Monday, mine on Tuesday. When was yours yesterday?
Thursday. Yesterday.
We just need to find somebody whose birthday was on the 14th.
I know people whose birthday was on the 14th, but no one you'd know.
Somebody whose birthday it was today.
Whose birthday is it today?
I'm just saying we need to find somebody whose birthday it was today.
Oh, I know somebody. Gray, who used to do the YouTube with us.
Oh, yeah.
It's his birthday today. That's why Fat Boy's not here,
Yes, he's
because he's in the pub.
getting drunk on shandy.
So you can tell which is the busy month for those early winter months, or late winter months, when people are,
Yes.
bored and shit.
January when everyone needed to keep warm.
Yup. and that wee stretch on towards Valentine's Day and whatnot,
January and February, very, very good times of the year to be conceived.
Very fertile months, yes.
However, I wasn't conceived, I just turned up.
Ah.
I refuse the concept that my parents ever had sex.
You know what's worse to think about?
What do you think? You glue in a vat?
No, I just arrived. I was just delivered.
And boop! Hi!
Let's be fair, if somebody spent 9 months growing me in a vat, they would have thrown me away at the end of it.
This one's a failure.
Can't disagree with that, really.
Cheers, guys.
Not a problem.
Yes, we did level up, except the leveling system in this game sucks. It takes forever to level up, and then when you do, you get a few rewards, and then it's like ages before you get anything else. Graphics are okay, but there's nobody in weird hats with light rings around them trying to offer me quests. Constant.
Although, it's, as David says, it does suck being born in January.
When's the next stream of Fallout New Vegas coming up?
Probably tomorrow night during shenanigans. No, probably I wouldn't live stream during shenanigans because I know I have a very captive audience of about 3 people, and
There's no shenanigans tomorrow night. It's Mark's week off, remember?
oh yes, it is. I was there last week. I should remember this shit.
You should remember that, yes.
However, I will say, last week I lost the clip that goes onto the table for my boom mic stand,
Oopsie.
and managed to find it today.
Hey!
So I've
Just
been
in
a
time.
week without it, and I didn't know where it was. It turns out it was behind my monitor.
Did it get behind the monitor because Ree threw it there, or did it get behind the monitor because alcohol?
I think I might have put it behind the monitor so I didn't forget where it was.
Ah,
And then, because alcohol. Forgot.
I wasn't actually that drunk on Saturday.
Yeah, well.
I wouldn't say I was anyway. I only had about nearly a dozen or something like that.
I was quite pleased this week. Very damp thing, but I literally put my hand straight on the radiator key in order to bleed up the radiators to declare winter's not that far in the corner.
This is true.
You should always bleed the radiators. There is nothing more satisfying than bleeding the radiators.
Yes, I bled mine as well.
Yeah, I tried to do that.
I bled all my radiators and none of them needed bleeding.
One of mine needed bleeding.
How do you know when they need bleeding anyway?
Because when you put the radiator key on, if you get air coming out opposed to water, it needs bleeding.
Oh, okay.
But also the easy way to tell is put your radiators on. If the top of it's cold and the bottom of it's warm, it needs bleeding.
Ah, okay. I never pay that much attention.
If the top of it's warm and the bottom of it's cold,
Something's gone fucking tits up.
there's sludge in the system.
Oh.
It needs bleeding from the bottom.
To be fair, Martin, you're in Scotland, so I can't imagine your radiators are ever off in order for them to...
No,
Yeah.
not really. And I don't really notice the cold because, like, well,
Gotcha.
I wear a t-shirt 365 days a year, so,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just used to the cold.
Did anyone see that we are, supposedly, the Express has outdone themselves this year? Britain is about to get a 50-year ice age.
Ah,
Oh, yeah. The
According to-
Express always says we're going to get an ice age.
But that's fine because Fallout 4 comes out next month anyway.
it doesn't fucking matter because we're going to be indoors anyway.
Does that mean we're going to get a 50-year stream then, Ryan?
I'll do a 50-year stream, yeah. You're going to pay me to do a 50-year stream?
50-year live stream.
To be fair, the Express tweeted that story. I just tweeted them a picture of Land Cruiser with the moniker, "Do your fucking worst."
I'm going to say, Gord, it's not going to fucking bother you anyway.
I'm outside most of the time, so no.
Yeah, the only time I'll worry is if I have to dig my way out the front door. It's never happened.
You
The only
see,
thing that will be inconvenient is if we have an ice age, people aren't going to need the fridges quite as much, so it might impact my industry. That's a problem.
Yes. But you can always start your own business with your Land Cruiser.
Recovery. Yep.
Yeah.
Shopping service.
Yes.
It's not a bad plan. You see, for me, I don't mind winter time. It doesn't bother me at all. It's fucking summer I hate.
Yeah.
Because I hate being warm.
I
Yeah,
get
if
that.
it's cold, you can put a jumper on. If you
Yeah.
want, you're fucking hot. Unless you can do something with aircon or something.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, aircon gives me a headache anyway. Because it's just recycling the same old air all the time.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't work if you open the windows.
So, it's like if I'm in a car, I can't have the aircon on. I have to crack the window open.
I'm a fridge engineer. I don't have air conditioning on my cars. Fuck that.
You just open them up in the back, eh?
No, he just straps a fridge to the front of the car. And
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just get the back doors open and switch the fridges on.
refrigeration unit on the bonnet.
Interesting fact, in Australia, the aircon has propane in. So every car is a motorised bomb.
Cool.
I'm not sure what to do with that information.
And
Don't
me,
go to Australia. Not only are the spiders trying to kill you and the snakes trying to kill you, but the fucking cars do too.
See, I'm really not bothered by like the big spiders and the snakes and stuff, because as long as you're clever, and I say clever, what I mean is not stupid, you're not gonna get hurt. It's these fucking idiots that go out there and think they're fucking Steve Irwin going around poking with fucking venomous snakes. It's like,
The best
dude,
thing you can do is leave the snake alone.
huh. Unless you're trying to eat it, in which case
Do it
a
quickly.
mongoose would probably be your friend.
Ryan Taylor, the Bear Grylls of JB Boy.
Fuck that, I'm not drinking my own piss.
Yeah, I was going to say he needs to drink his own piss first.
The worst thing about Bear Grylls that everybody forgets is he once gave himself a saltwater enema.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great way of getting water into your system. If you can't drink it, no.
Just no.
There are 100 ways to get fresh water when you're out at sea. None of them involve sticking a pipe up my arse.
I'm more wondering where the hell you would happen to get a pipe from in order to insert it there. I mean, you're talking premeditated there. I might get thirsty, I need to have a pipe so I can get salt water up my bum. That's even more questionable.
All I was going to say is obviously thought about this before he's left home.
That's what I mean.
He's thinking when
Well,
he's
I take
going
it
out the front door, he's thinking, hang on, have I picked up the pipe to shove up me arse?
No. It's do I take the pipe or do I take the 2-litre bottle of Evian? I'll take the pipe.
He was worried about the weight of his luggage for the airport, that's what it was. Yeah, the pipe's lighter. I'll take it.
What, because you can't take bottles on board anymore without X amount of fucking liquid in them.
Indeed.
I've assembled grab bags, but I've never once thought I need to have a fucking hole long enough for me to
Shove up my arse.
shove up my arse. And then the next thing is, how do you propel the water up it? So you also need a mechanism to achieve that.
I don't know, you just fill the pipe with water and blow.
It's kind of like the opposite of siphoning fuel from a car, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, but no,
If you've got a pipe up the arse, the last thing you want to be doing is siphoning.
logically though, it's salt water. If you take salt water in to siphon it, or reverse siphon it, or whatever you want to call it, you're going to end up with salt all over your mouth, which is going to be counter-effective.
All I'm saying is, I remember seeing that one bit of an episode, and he was just about to do it, and I was like, no!
Change channel.
Knocking the remote off the side of the sofa as you try and grab it, sort of thing.
I would rather watch the Cardassians than that. There are a few fates worse than death, and one of them is watching the Cardassians.
See, I just don't watch TV.
The Cardassians? Is that not Star Trek? Deep Space Nine.
No, the Kardashians is the family that have a habit of getting their kit off every time everybody forgets about them.
Oh, okay. Sounds watchable.
If you've seen them, no.
Oh, okay.
No, to be quite honest, you remember why you'd forgotten about them.
I have little to no knowledge of celebrity culture.
Says
I
it
know.
always the man who doesn't watch telly.
Yeah, but he reads the newspaper.
Well, no, I spend an inordinate amount of time online, so you come across stuff.
Well, true.
If you're on
Yeah.
Twitter, you're guaranteed that some twat's going to share something that you probably don't want to see.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
definitely true.
It was Ryan. It's always his fault.
You broke me when you said when you're on the internet for a long time, there's always something you come across, and I was thinking, yeah, okay, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, all of these people who are famous literally for just having a sex tape.
Famous for being arseholes, basically.
See, we're back to fucking Bear Grylls again now.
I don't remember that bit in One Night in Paris.
There is a ridiculous amount of that bollocks going on though. That Big Brother and X Factor and all that sort of shit. It's just fuck's
David
sake.
said still better than Twilight. Well, anything's better than Twilight because vampires don't fucking sparkle.
I can't say I've ever had anything to do whatsoever with Twilight, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right,
Oh.
I'm gonna give you the general premise, right? One-dimensional bitch, right? She's got one facial expression, and that's always a slapped ass.
Right.
Falls in love with a vampire, although you'd never actually know that she falls in love with a vampire. She didn't tell you she'd fallen in love with a vampire because slapped ass.
Yes.
Eventually has sex with said vampire, creates a baby, of which the werewolf kid imprints himself to, which means that one day he's going to mate with it.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
And to top it all off, spawned 50 Shades of Grey, which was Twilight fanfiction to begin with.
So where does the fucking sparkly bit come into it?
Because the vampires fucking sparkle. If they go out in daylight, they sparkle. That's not true. If a vampire goes out in daylight, he turns to fucking dust.
The easiest way to understand it.
Burn horribly painful death.
Easiest way to understand it. Think of Lost Boys,
Yes. Awesome film.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Awesome film.
Yep.
Yeah. What other vampire films have we got? Even the fucking Vampire Diaries.
Blade.
Interview with a Vampire. Blade.
Vampire, just the film Vampire.
Yeah. Underworld.
Am I thinking along the right lines now? Are we mixing those with fucking Teletubbies or something?
No. Think of all of those films, and that they're generally pretty good films. Twilight is nothing like that.
It's a direct opposite of all of them.
Yeah, like I said, are we mixing those films with
No.
Teletubbies? Is it like a mixture of the two?
No, even that would be better.
Those are all what we would consider vampire films. Twilight is essentially Beverly Hills 90210, but what they did is they put Vampire 90210 at the fucking start, and that's it. There's no relation to vampires that you're generally aware of.
The one meme that does stick in the brain, the first 10 minutes of Up, still a better love story than Twilight.
Yes.
Oh man, but that's really sad.
It is. It's a good bit of the film, that. I like that. It's a great movie.
It teaches kids about loss and how you...
That's one thing Pixar are really fucking bizarrely rated, because the big movies, they're Toy Story, they're Monsters Inc. and all that, they're shit. They are shit. When you look at stuff like Up and the other various bits and what's that new one, Inside Out and stuff like that they've done, they are phenomenally good films. Yet everybody goes on about Toy Story and stuff, and Toy Story's guff.
No, so Toy Story's alright, but what I want to know is
Shit.
when are Andy's toys going to go and play with Andy's mom's toys?
Nice.
Do all the toys come to life?
Oh shit. Here goes my mouse.
So yes, but yeah. So yeah, basically, Keith, I've decided you're going to help me with a little project of mine, which is film commentaries, which I'm going to do for the YouTube. So I'm going to make you sit down and watch Twilight with me.
I cannot wait to see Keith's reaction to Twilight.
You know what I'm going to say to that, Ryan? Fuck.
That's
There's
just cruel and unusual torture. That's mean and nasty. That is.
there's beer in it for you, and we can watch like Evil Dead at the same time, so we can actually watch something good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You do realise that there is at least 3 or 4 Twilight films that you have to get through as well.
Is it 4? Yeah.
Yeah, because they broke the second one up into 2. Because Harry
Yeah.
Potter did it, everybody else.
Yeah, started doing it as well.
Did you know Harry Potter's least successful film did more than Twilight's most successful film?
Yeah, but because Harry Potter.
Yeah, but
See,
still, I mean, Harry Potter is watchable.
I mean, to be fair, the films were carried by the books. Like most films of books, what drives the film?
see that's another overhyped films. Harry Potter's shit as well, and the book.
Yeah, but you like Star Wars.
Yeah, if you want decent fantasy, you go and watch fucking Lord of the Rings or something. Not fucking Harry Potter's balls.
Right,
And a
but
blatant rip-off. But hey.
but you like Star Wars,
Yes.
right? Harry Potter is just watered down Star Wars for those who can't deal with shit. Think about it, right? Lives with his aunt and uncle, finds out he has this mystical power.
That's not how it happens in Star Wars. Doesn't find out he's got any mystical power until Empire Strikes Back.
To be fair,
Not
Star
really,
Wars
anyway.
films are nothing compared to the Star Wars book.
Yeah, that's true.
I've dedicated a lot of time to the Star Wars books. and
They were phenomenal. Yep.
It is worth it. And I like the fact that, again, George Lucas has to okay any book that's entered into the Star Wars universe. There's a fucking lot, and they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, "Is Watership Down a kids' film?" No, it's
God,
fucking not.
No, Worship Down.
Definitely not.
Watership Down is the only thing that you can go 10 minutes without somebody dying, and you can think, oh, it's starting to pick up, and then all of a sudden, when you just finally in that little happy place, and you're thinking, oh, look, the cute little animals, bang!
Dead. Watership Down's a great movie, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You see, that's the thing. There's so many underrated movies out there, and like I said, things like Toy Story and stuff,
Yeah,
overrated, basically.
Yeah, but even... Say again now, Gord.
The Iron Giant
Mhm.
animated films. I've introduced my kids to that, and I never realised when I watched it when I was young, but it was one of Vin Diesel's first movies.
Yeah, he voices the Iron Giant.
He does.
Didn't know that.
But the thing with Vin Diesel that a lot of people don't get from him because of the way he looks and the sort of movies that he does, he is a big fucking geek.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
He
the
is.
dude, right, he plays D&D and is quite vocal about the fact that he plays D&D. He loves his fantasy novels and stuff like that. In fact, it was him who took Riddick after Pitch Black and said, I want to do the other parts of the story. And they were like, no, Pitch Black just didn't do well enough. And he waited and waited and waited, kept going, right, until his name got up there and he was a big enough star, and he went, right, now we're doing Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new Riddick film, well, the newer Riddick film, which was a really good film.
Yes,
They are, all three of them are really good films.
they are.
That's a bizarre thing about them, though. You don't really need to watch them in order or anything because they just make sense on their own as well, anyway.
Well, they're standalone films.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're only a series in name.
Yeah.
I mean,
Got some common characters,
they
but
they
can't standalone films.
they do follow on from one another.
You
As
kind
in
of do.
Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then just Riddick. But
They are the previous things are mentioned, but it's not really much more than that, are they?
yeah, but when they mention it, it's not like they mention it without any
Context or anything. Yeah.
yeah. When he talks about being the ruler of thing, they actually show you little flashbacks of what happened. So you actually have the context of what's happened. So
Sorry, just see something in chat. Sean,
yeah,
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I love that. Was it
you
not
seen
last week I was talking about that film, or was
Yeah.
it the week before?
I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, it's an epic, hilarious movie. I love that film.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, you really do need to watch it. And not only just because Adam Tudyk's in it,
Mm-hmm.
but especially because Adam Tudyk's in it.
Yes, it was last week you were talking about.
Yeah, because it's only recently I've actually remembered how to say his name.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Con Man yet?
No, I'm waiting until it's all.
All done. Mm-hmm. Me too.
I just want to sit down, binge, then I'm going to go, really should watch Firefly.
Have you not watched that? Yeah. Or
No, I mean again.
oh, again, right? That's fine. Yeah. I think I've watched it about 3 times over now.
It's like the Blues Brothers. You can't watch
Yeah.
it once.
You can watch it many times. It's like that Prometheus. Actually, it makes more sense the more often you watch it.
Yes, just don't watch the cinema sins of it. They sin it for a lot of things that they shouldn't really sin it for. This movie makes no sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be a fucking hogwash because that's the kind of idea that they're trying to get across, that mankind has got itself into a fucking quagmire.
Mhm.
Giggity.
Agreed.
But yeah, it is interesting to think that the xenomorphs might have actually been created by...
By us to begin with. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was actually the Space Jacks, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, sort of. Mhm. It's a bit roundabout, really, isn't it?
Babylon AD, that's a
Mhm.
really good animated film. There's some really good animated stuff, actually.
I watched Titan AE the other day.
Yeah, I watched that a couple of weeks ago as well. For the first time, actually.
I watched it years ago, but
I had no idea it was a Joss Whedon movie.
I've got Coda, you see. So now I've got access to all the stuff that I watched years ago that's on VHS and I've got nothing to play on.
Mm.
I'm
Never
happy you ended up watching The Iron Giant, though, because that's another film where I think... I mean, I watched it as a kid. And when I was a kid, you were expected to, you know, not be such a wuss. It's kind of how things worked.
Uh-huh.
That being said, when I was in primary school, we had a choice of watching Free Willy for the 3rd time in a week, or watching Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hmm.
And the teachers decided Nightmare Before Christmas was too scary.
I've just seen the time and I've just seen 2 Skype messages that I didn't notice. Just let me check these Skype messages.
Are you running away, Keith? Yes, you will be. Sure.
So you need to go and start getting set up, Keith.
Yeah.
This is what you get for having to pull double duty on a Friday night.
Right.
Double duty.
Just remember, back in the day, RY4 didn't used to start till 10 o'clock.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
They're encroaching on my screen time.
What's telling me?
I think a strongly worded email is in order there, Ryan.
No, I'm gonna do it snail mail. I'm gonna have some weight to it.
Couple of bricks in the package as well, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pay the postage.
Positive without putting a stamp on.
I'm not gonna pay the postage. I'm just gonna send it, so then they'll get the red card to say that they've got to go and get it, and then they'll go and get it, and then it will just be a couple of bricks.
This is my strongly worded letter. Written in marker pen on the bricks.
I have some very heavy words for you.
Yeah.
It would be lead, but the price of lead's gone up. so fuck that.
Have you not got a church nearby?
No, they've just pulled it down.
Excellent.
I was too late.
That was actually one of my rants. I've had to go to a fucking church do today.
Indeed.
You had to go. Why did you
Yes.
have to go?
My partner's disabled. Right, my partner cannot walk very far.
Mhm.
So my 5-year-old son, and when he becomes old enough, my 3-year-old son, have to go to the school that's most local to our house because you can just about walk there. She
Mhm.
doesn't drive. The nearest school to our house is a Catholic school.
Ah,
I'm an atheist. I make no secret of the fact that I treat religion with disdain because it's an evil spite on humanity.
to a certain extent, yep. Hmm.
How do you think I feel when we have to go to a parents' evening and say, we would ask you to respect our beliefs that we are going to try and indoctrinate your son into a gang of child molesters?
Mm.
And then I turn around and I say, well, how about you try respecting my fucking beliefs? And they say, well, you're an atheist.
Yeah, that's where they're wrong. They're expecting atheism to be not a belief, but it is a belief. It's a belief in the fact that there isn't a God or what have you.
So I'm gonna put it
Religion
this
get
way,
all
right?
wrong.
I was. Go on, Gords. Go on.
Yeah, atheism is a skepticism. It's a case of you've looked at what they have to offer,
Mhm.
you've thought about it, and you've decided that it isn't for you. Now, I will wholeheartedly rip the piss out of any religion because they do leave themselves open to that. They do. I mean, at the end of the day, any Abrahamic religion, the kindest, nicest person in the whole fucking setup is the devil, because he's the one that's responsible for the least number of deaths.
And at least he's consistent.
Actually, I've read all of the books because I like knowledge.
Mhm.
Right, knowledge is power as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Which is why I also like science so much, because science is trying to explain the things that we can't explain.
Yes. The important word there is explain.
Yeah. If you ask a scientist something and he doesn't know the answer, he will say, "I don't know yet." He never just say, "I don't know." Everything can be explained in a rational way. Sooner or later, everything will happen. Just think, 100 years ago, if you'd have told people that you'd be carrying around a device in your pocket, and not only can you talk to somebody from around the world, but you can also view messages and pictures and stuff from these people, they'd have thought you were fucking loony. They'd have put you in an asylum.
Not only that, if you look at it logically, you have a device now in your pocket that can access pretty much certainly any of the most important knowledge available to anyone in the human race. You can find it. You might have to spend a little bit of time hunting around and cross-checking things, but if you want to know something, you can find that out with a device that sits in your pocket. Or you can look at cats.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to.
Yes, sorry.
Right.
Should have done this 20 minutes ago, then you had time to listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Keith, if you want to drop a link into the chat roll, seems as I have hijacked the RY4 chat roll. It only seems pleasant that we actually do it.
No, what we should point out to our listeners is, look, Dr. Vasilinos is on RY4 tonight. So if you've never heard Dr. Vasilinos speak, I do strongly recommend that you do take the opportunity to
Catch the
actually
show.
follow up.
After JB Live, obviously.
Well, no, I mean, you can all leave us before JB Live's finished if you really want to pop over there and listen to it.
There you go. Links in chat.
I'm not that bothered. I don't have that much of an ego left.
I'm pretty sure that RY4 does catch up, don't they?
No,
No catch up.
they can't because of the music on it.
Of course.
I'm not sure if this one may be recorded though, because Dr. Farsalino.
Yeah, they recorded the last one that he was on, so I expect
It's
they
not-
would do for this one too.
It's not difficult. You can do it in Audacity. Just set it to speakers and record what's going through.
Anyway, I'll better disappear.
Yep, run off. See you later, Keith.
Yeah, good luck.
See you later, Martin.
Vaseline.
Nice board.
Nice
See you later, Ryan, and thanks to everybody in chat for joining us tonight. And I shall see you all again very soon.
See you in a bit, Keith.
Bye-bye.
See you in a bit.
Cheers,
Yes,
mate. I'll
guys.
catch you later. Oh, send the good doctor our regards.
Indeed, yes. Well, I'm sure.
Just to point out, Keith is going. We're not going anywhere just yet. There are some more things I would like to point out about religion.
Can we have an hour slating religion?
See that? See, yeah, you go first, Ryan.
I realise
Wait,
that
hang on a minute. You only want me to give you half of my argument?
I was going to say I realise an hour's cutting it short, but
The fact is, the Bible and every book would have you believe that there's somebody out there, this evil doer, that basically will smite you for the rest of eternity if you're a nasty person.
yes.
I don't see how that dude is the evil one. In fact, I would believe that the guy who is quite happy to forgive murderers, child molesters and rapists on their deathbed just because they repent for their sins is more evil than the guy who is willing to actually sacrifice his existence literally to punish the evil in the world.
Can I just break in on that thought? Think about this logically. Who was it who destroyed the entire world and made someone build a ship that had only 2 of each kind of animal?
Oh, and if the Bible is to be believed, they were all male. The animals were all male.
Right, well, I had 2 problems with that. Even if they were male and female, we do know that, because science, cannot breed a population from 2 parents.
No, you can't.
No, this is a problem we're having with pandas now. We've got a large, well, not a large group, but compared to Noah, we've got a large group of pandas in the world
Yeah, and we can't breed.
that just won't breed because they are lazy animals. I have no idea what's wrong with them.
What David's saying in chat's correct, but the way of securing wealth bit has changed because it's no longer religion about securing wealth, it's politics.
Yeah.
But politics is its
As
own
religion
religion.
dies, politics becomes more that position, if you know what I mean.
Well, the one thing I would point out is 100 years ago in this country, religion was still a very big part of life.
Yeah.
However, once we became more multicultural, religion took a back seat to just being good to the people that you know. You don't need to believe in a book to be a nice person. All you've got to do is live your life and treat others how you expect to be treated in return. These are not things that are in the book. These are things that you should be taught as a child.
I was going to say, to be fair, religion doesn't teach you to be a good person. Good upbringing and empathy for your fellow person make you a good person.
It is used by religious institutions in the way that they require it to be used. But the basics of every single religion, when you boil them all down to their absolute basics, is that just be fucking decent to each other, or as Bill and Ted put it, be excellent to each other.
No, to be fair, the basis of every religion
But
gather
those,
followers.
yeah, those books, those religions have been used in a fashion to control the masses and, you know, retain the wealth, etc., etc.
Right.
That's all we're there for.
Mhm.
But I will also point out this: these texts that people follow, some people follow to the letter, other people's are a little bit more lenient on, were written by people.
Yeah.
People are fallible. Not only that, over time they've been translated. In a lot of languages, there isn't a direct translation between two phrases. We get this a lot in between English and German. We also get it. You know, the English language is full of French and German
Words and
yeah,
phrases and.
just because there's no other way of putting it.
Do you want to know what my theory is on religion? I have a God's theory of religion. My theory is that a long time ago, a reasonably wise man compared to everyone else that was throwing rocks at each other, he had an idea. To quote out Malcolm X, he had a dream. And his idea was to promote what we're talking about. Be excellent to each other. So in order to convey these ideas, he came up with a set of stories to try to explain these concepts, because the human race is driven by stories.
Yeah, the people of that time wouldn't have understood direct, do this, do that. You need it in a fairy tale.
If you turn around to someone and say, you should do this, you should do that, you should do other, and society will be right, most people are going to say, fuck you. But if you tell a series of stories that will percolate into people's subconscious.
Morality tales, fairy tales.
Yeah.
Aesop's fables.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that the original person who came up with these stories and told them, and they spread because they reasonably captivated, and I certainly were reasonably captivated way back when.
Yeah, further time period, yeah.
Don't forget, the first Bible was written in about 600 AD. And yet it purports to talk about stuff that happened at least, well, beyond 600 years further back. So that was the first time it was written down, but it wasn't necessarily the first time that those stories were told. Yeah. Those stories might have been told over and over again for hundreds or thousands of years previous. And that's my take. All it is a series of stories meant to convey how to live in a civilized society. But because it has had that period of time, it's all been taken out of context. It's like Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
Changed from a series of stories and fables to a belief. Or as my friend likes to put it, one woman's one night stand taken way overboard.
Look, I'm just going to say this about religion, okay? Odin promised to rid the world of ice giants.
There is no ice giants.
There are no ice giants, so he must have been right.
Right, and I'm relatively well travelled, and I've never once seen an ice giant. Okay, God promised to rid the world of persecution, and I see people being persecuted every single day. So,
well, like I said, the Kardashians.
Yeah. If we are going to vote for a god here, my vote goes for Hades. A Greek god, the god of death, looked after the underworld, looked after the dead. But the Greek gods were never portraying themselves to be in control of humanity. They would just help when they wanted to. And the Norse gods were the same. They weren't this overbearing factor in life. If you were to appease them, they would help you in return. Now, you didn't appease them by going out and killing other people. Well, there are a few gods that did that, but we won't go into that right now. It's a very, very messy. Ares, Mars, and several Norse gods are all gods of war, but we are talking about a time when the world was at war. The countries were a lot smaller. You didn't have what we had now. I mean, back then, England used to have like 26 kings.
Mm.
You know, and then everything gets unified. And we come hundreds of years in the future, you got Roman Catholics going across the Middle East, killing anybody who doesn't believe in their Roman Catholic ways during the Crusades.
Mm-hmm.
All while hunting for relics of their own religion in a world that just really didn't support their religion anymore.
Yeah,
And
but on the flip side, you had Muslims, Barbary pirates, raiding the English coast before the Crusades.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's not really talked about.
No.
But, you know, Muslims were coming taking slaves from Northern Europe
Mm-hmm. And the
long
Egyptians.
before the Crusades.
Egyptians done it long before that too.
Really is, other than Buddhism, every popular religion now is just a violent basis of belief.
do you know Buddhism has 99 words for God, and every single one of them translates to a version of me. Not me, as in me. I'm not claiming to be some sort of Buddhist god here, but it just translates to the word me. Because with Buddhism, the whole idea is,
It promotes believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and using your own self to help others. If you are not a strong enough person and you require help, there is no shame in asking for help. But the caveat to that is, when you are strong enough, you should be helping other people. And going back to films, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this film, because everybody who I speak to about this film just looks at me weird. There's a film with Kevin Spacey in called Pay It Forward.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And the premise of it is so simple. The class, this kid's class, I think it's Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
They're given an assignment. Their assignment is think of a way to make the world better. So you get loads of people coming in. I think we should have motorized walkways so people don't have to walk anymore. They can just stand still, and and you get stuff like that. But then you get this one kid with this one genius little idea. In your life, you should do 3 good deeds. And not just good deeds as in opening a door for somebody. These are going to be really big good deeds. You really put yourself out there. And then when somebody asks you why you did this, you say why, and you explain why, and then you ask them to do the same thing in return. So you get this butterfly effect where everybody then is doing good stuff. It's a really powerful film, and I'm not ashamed to say it made me cry towards the end. If you've seen it, you know.
Yeah. It's a very, very good film. Another seriously underrated movie.
Yeah, which, like I said, I mean, the majority of people I speak to about that film never even know it existed. But that is what religion should be.
Yeah, like I say, I think that's what all religions were initially based upon, in all honesty. But they have been twisted and manipulated to suit the agenda of those in the positions of power, and that's as simple as that. And it's the same fucking situation with politics.
I believe the word you're looking for is bastardized.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can give a bit of respect to religious people in that if they need to believe in God in order for them to be a good person or to keep them on a track of being a decent person, then fine, believe what you like. But the minute that they start dismissing other people's beliefs, etc., using that belief to persecute other people, then they are just as bad as what they pertain to be against.
That is where I have a problem with religion, because many of the people believe that
they're right, nobody else is.
You cannot be a good person without following their chosen dog role.
Yeah, exactly. Right. This is where all the problems come in.
That's my problem with them. If you think that you need to read a book and that tells you how to be a good person, you're not a good person.
That's not necessarily true, because David brings up a very good point. Douglas Adams, just before the Earth is demolished to make way for a hyperspace bypass, a woman in a cafe comes up with the idea. Just have everybody be nice to one another. That would fix all the problems.
And it's absolutely true.
And if you have never read the book The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the follow-ups, I advise you do. In fact, if you are one of these people who is constantly traveling, then I could also advise the audiobook narrated by Mr. Stephen Fry.
I've never done the audiobook, but I've read the books about 3 times.
I do a lot of walking, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Like, I listen to music a lot, but then I get bored of it, so I will listen to audiobooks
instead. Religious wars are better. My imaginary friend is better than yours. Brilliant.
Right, so basically the JB Live stance on religion is...
Religion sucks.
Well, not entirely.
It's fine if you are a religious person. If you need that crutch in your life and you need that little bit of inspiration to be a nice person, then fine. If it's making you a nice person, that's fine. But do not persecute others because they don't believe the same way you do. We can't all believe the same things. If we did, the world would just be stagnant because we would never get any new ideas. The way we work and the way humankind has progressed is the fact that you always get somebody come out of the blue with just this stupid, crazy idea, and all of a sudden it works. I mean, how do you think they felt back in the day when they said, yeah, we've been making like warships now for fucking God knows how long out of wood. I reckon we could make one out of metal. Right? And that was science that made that happen, folks. Science. Displacement, I believe.
Yes, that's how boats work.
Something invented by the Greeks.
I was going to say, because he also invented the Archimedes screw, which when somebody says to you, you cannot make water run uphill, you just say, aha, Archimedes.
But you can. Yes, he figured it all out in the bath.
With religion, it's simple. It's fine to have it. It's fine to be proud of it. But much like a penis, don't whip it out in public and wave it around.
No, I actually prefer what I put on Facebook the other day, which is religion. Religion is very much like opinions, and opinions are very much like assholes. Everybody has one.
Doesn't make it special.
But don't pretend yours doesn't stink.
Yay! That was very deep and philosophical for JV Live, was it not?
I know we really need to go into something really ridiculous and stupid right now.
But it's a good conversation, though. It's
a good conversation. Unfortunately, we have nobody around who's religious to sort of go against us and make it into a debate.
Well, that's it. It's becoming like religious people are becoming less and less common, and that's the other thing about human race is that they build themselves into communities, and they're often quite closed.
Bringing this back on topic, interesting facts that I did hear the other month now. Did you know there are now more vapors, full-time vapors, not dual users, full-time exclusive vapors, than there are people who visit the Church of England on a weekly basis?
Well, that's only because my local church has run out of lead.
It's because everybody kept stealing it to send letters with.
And
maybe I should have started writing on the lead rather than spelling out the messages in the lead.
Would have been much more efficient, yeah. And I will say, because I do follow, I'm not sure if he's a bishop or a canon on Twitter, but I do follow someone and interact with someone who is into religion. And he shared a link the other day, and there's current concern in the Catholic Church that by the year 2050 there will be many more Muslims than there will be Catholics. And this is actually a major concern for the church.
The main reason behind that is because the Western world has turned more towards technology
Hmm.
and more towards information opposed to...
Shagging goats.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna go on record and say I am not denying that Gord's may be right there. I'm just quickly moving on from the subject.
Controversy!
Controversy sells, man. Controversy sells.
Oh,
It's because the Western world is filled with information, whereas most of the Muslim countries are third world countries.
Yeah.
They have nothing but religion, and the only way they can see of making it better is by going to the mosque and praying.
Yeah, joining the group or the community or what have you.
the thing is, the Catholic Church and the Church of England and the various other more westernised religions, for want of a better term, were on the back curve. They'd already lost most of the power and influence long before the internet happened. The Muslim world hadn't. So the Muslim world actively suppresses social media. We only have to look at what's happening with Rafe. What's his name? The blogger in Saudi Arabia.
Don't know.
Rafe Alawi or something like that. But basically, he was an open atheist, and he blogged about alternative ideas. And as a result, he's going to be crucified.
All right, that's charming. Yeah, really good.
But they actively suppress, which is what I was leading to. The Muslim world actively suppresses the devolution of new, more modern ideas.
Yeah, information and technology and science and yeah.
Not necessarily science, because they like nuclear bombs and shit like that.
Well, that's not new science by any stretch, though.
But they actively prevent the population from seeing what's going on in the wider world.
Which is exactly what the Protestant, the Catholic, the Church of England, Church of Scotland, pick one. It's exactly what they did 200 years ago, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And, it's the same process. Give it time, and the Muslim world, if you want to call it that, will come round as well.
Well,
not to say it's not going to be a fucking mess while they do so, but...
Yeah. The thing is, the Catholic world and if you want the Christian world, their influence was waning long before, as we went into the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
There's no question there were people already challenging the assumed wisdom. But for whatever reason, the Muslim world, the Islamic leadership has always held sway. And
again, it's
unfortunately, the only way it's going to change is by bloody revolution.
It's the exact same thing again, though. It's the religious texts or what the belief systems or what have you being manipulated and bastardized, as Ryan put it, into serving the interests of those in charge.
Yeah.
And because again, Islam, Muslim, I can't. Is it the Quran or is that the Jewish one? Anyway, but they're again basically boils down to the same shit that's in the Bible, and it's not a bad book. It's not got go kill this, that, and the next. It's the way it's been twisted.
It's down to the people that have power or seek to take power through violence.
Yeah.
Attempting to dominate the masses.
Mhm.
And eventually, the masses are going to have to rise up.
Mhm.
And it won't work if we go in and do it, because
No.
those presenters, they have to wake up and turn around and fight for their own
Yeah.
freedom that we now enjoy.
I've always said as much that the
It has to come
West
from
should
inside.
be.
It cannot come from
Mhm.
outside.
That's what I've said for long enough, that the Western powers should be keeping the fuck out of the Middle East and let them sort their own shit out.
No, all the Western powers should be doing is making sure that their own people are all right, and
Mhm.
they aren't. They're really not.
No, probably not, but at the same time, that have the sense, don't go there. You know, if your life is going to be endangered by going to a particular country, don't fucking go.
It's like there's a bloke in again Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
He's a 74-year-old man. Came from England, emigrated. In fact, I think he came from Scotland. Emigrated over
Oh,
there
yes, I'd read about
50
that.
years ago. He's lived there. He's been picked up with homebrew wine in his car, and now he's going to suffer 360 lashes because alcohol isn't accepted.
Mhm.
Now, part of me thinks, you savage bastards.
Yeah,
A
but
significant,
there's another part that makes you think, you stupid fucker, for going against
Yes.
their laws. Yeah.
but the one thing that really sticks in my head is, look at the duality of it.
Yeah.
Someone from here emigrates to there, they expect you
hmm
to live by their lives.
Yes, their laws and rules and whatnot. Uh-huh.
But should one of their people choose to come and live here, and I'm not getting into immigration and all that bullshit,
No.
should one of their people choose to come and live here, or a family of their people, they expect that provision should be made for them to continue to live their life.
Their
Like,
religious freedoms.
apostasy.
Yes.
And I strongly believe that if you choose to go and put yourself upon another society, then it is up to you to integrate with that society. You've chosen to go and live there because
It's too late for that, though.
their beliefs.
We've become so multicultural here that it's too late for anything like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, you say we become multicultural. We became multicultural in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
Right?
When we
But-
literally asked people
Yeah,
to migrate to here.
but in the last 30 years, the people who've been coming over here haven't been integrating. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they integrated.
Yeah, they
To a
actively
certain extent, yeah.
they sought to be part of the society. They didn't seek to set up their own society within another outer society.
Yeah.
And that is my problem.
I mean, the way I always explain it to people is during the early 40s when World War II was going on, and you had a lot of black GIs come over here from the States. They loved it over here because they weren't persecuted and looked down upon because of the colour of their skin. Because this country will always be ahead of America in that sort of sense of things because we're an older country. Yeah, we don't care over here where you're from as long as you are contributing to society. Look at the Gurkhas. Right?
Yeah.
Right. My granddad served in the army for many, many years, spent a long stint in Hong Kong, and he served with Gurkhas, and he's a tough old bastard. Right.
I've got to say as well, the disservice that the British government has done to the Gurkhas over the year is
Last decade or so, yeah.
They were made a promise.
just a decade, a long time. It's incredibly embarrassing when you have a set of people that have absolutely dedicated themselves to the principles of our country. The least our country could do is support those people. They fought and bled and died for our beliefs.
I don't know. Yes.
Our thoughts, our convictions. They've wholeheartedly dedicated themselves and bled for it. and the treatment of our government to those people afterwards. And I extend that to the people in Afghanistan who helped out as interpreters.
The interpreters and stuff, yeah.
And every other place that we've raided where people have stood up and said, yes, we believe in you and we wish to help and be a greater multicultural society around the world. And the treatment of our governments over the years of those people, those forward thinkers, is truly a national embarrassment.
See, coming down to another fucking similar problem, because we as a people are being mistreated by our own government.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's all very well saying that, yeah, it's just disgusting what they're doing to these people and stuff like that. But at the same time,
it's disgusting how we're treating.
We're getting treated worse.
Something close to my own heart. They've cut disability payments.
Yeah.
Now, we will sort of get by, but there are lots of people that aren't in the fortunate position that me and my family are in, that there's still someone out earning.
Yeah.
So we'll feel the cuts, but we won't feel the cuts in the same way that someone who is wholly dependent on the state.
But the thing that pisses me off the most about Gords is not the fact that they're cutting disability, but the fact that they're cutting it from the wrong people.
Yeah.
Alcoholics and drug addicts can still claim disability, and they will still get their full payments. That is self-induced. Right? If your mental psyche is not in a place where you cannot stop drinking, you need to seek help at the earliest opportunity. When I was drinking heavily, and I mean really heavily, minimum 10 pints a night, and I was doing it every single night, 20 pints on a Friday, 30 pints on a Saturday. I was smoking at the same time, and when I'm drinking, I'm smoking more. I actually stopped drinking. I walked into the pub one night after work, and Katie, the barmaid, was about to pour me a drink, and I went, no, I'll have a pint of Coke. And I didn't drink for a year until I knew that I would be, because I felt myself slipping. I couldn't go a day without having a drink.
The way I did it,
something similar for myself as well. Yep.
The way I did it was, I met Tony, and I was spending. I'd already sort of fallen out with pubs a bit because my sort of moment of epiphany was around about the smoking ban. Smoking ban sort of cut down my drinking because I got really pissed off about it. But my thing that really altered my drinking course, and I mean, I'm saying that, but I'm sat here now with, I did bring 4 cans down here. But I drink nothing like what I used to drink. But I changed it by moving away, basically. I was somewhere where I could have gone out. I could still go out now and have a pint, but I never actively sought to be part of the outside drinking scene. Instead, I was sitting in the house, maybe having 2 or 3 beers at home. And that's how I changed my thing, because I used to be a very heavy drinker as well, much from the sound of it, very similar to Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I get the impression from a lot of people I speak to, everybody sort of goes through that at one point or another. I mean, I was going through a difficult point in my life. There was a lot going on, and to be honest, I just wasn't strong enough to confront anything. So my way of not confronting everything was going down the pub, speaking with people who I knew but didn't know me. You know when like you're in the pub and you know people, but you don't really know them. You just know them from the pub.
Yeah.
And that was refreshing for me because I didn't have to put on a facade for anybody. I just had to be my usual drinky self. So, and then you'd go home and like my mother would be waiting up for me because no matter how old I got, she could never go to sleep until I was back in the house, bless her. And I can never apologise to my mother enough for the shit that I put her through when I was younger. I really cannot. It's just, I never really realised, until I've got older and got away from that sort of lifestyle, I didn't kind of realise what I was putting her through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we all have to have that moment of epiphany in our lives. It's the same with the YouTube stuff. I was doing it on my own for so long, and then I thought last year, oh, I know what. But this time last year, I decided I was going to get a team of people together, and I was going to make a YouTube channel that had like X amount of people producing content on a weekly basis, and we'd have content almost every single day.
Bit
Didn't work
much
out.
there.
Which brings me nicely to my next point. I am looking for people who are willing to contribute to the YouTubes. If you want to contribute, then you'll be a fully fledged member of the team. And I am actually going to register the YouTubes as a proper company next year, just so I don't lose out on any copyright shit before somebody comes along and steals everything.
That's our name. We're having it back. That sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you mean by contributors? To do what?
I just want people to do videos, if it's once a week or once a month or whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want content. Now I've got the new rig sorted, I'm going to be doing quite a bit myself anyway, because obviously before I was very limited with just having the laptop. And not a good laptop at that. It is a miracle. In fact, I was rendering the D&D video for YouTube the other day, and all I've done is put an image on it and put the intro on it and cleaned up the sound and put a backing track on it. On my laptop, it would have taken probably about 20 hours to render, because it's nearly 3-hour file.
Wow.
On the computer I've got now, it took like 2 hours or something like that. And I was still able to do other stuff on the computer while it was rendering.
Yeah, it's one of those things you have to invest in, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no question.
David, I'm after anything, mate. If you can play any sort of video game and talk while you play and just be generally entertaining. If you actually just go onto the Oxymoron YouTube page and watch anything by any of us, you generally get the gist of it. I'm not asking for people to be fake. I don't want this whole persona sort of thing out there. Because I fucking hate that on YouTube videos.
To be brutally honest, I strongly recommend that people go and watch the Oxymoron YouTube channel anyway. If you've got anything from 5 or 10 minutes spare to up to an hour or a couple of hours, I mean, I often just, like I said before, I'll put stuff on YouTube and put my headphones in and throw the phone on the seat alongside me and drive along, and I'm just listening to people chatting. And they might be talking about the game, or like Ryan has a lot of interesting opinions on stuff.
Yeah.
But
Ryan has many assholes.
I do recommend, if you got some time, go and, use it.
Yeah, I mean,
worthwhile, and if you are thinking of contributing, it will give you a good idea of the low bar that has been set.
cheers, Gord. I was just about to go there myself, but thank you. You saved me an hassle. No, I mean, the thing about Oxymoron is it's always been normal people playing games.
Yeah, it's very much an extension of Just Vapes Live. Normal people talking about shit. We might, if there's something big, we'll talk about vaping. But I'll be honest, much as I might have wanted to say something about vaping tonight, there's not really been anything this week that was absolutely
Nothing essential.
talk about it. There's been a couple of bits and bats that I've responded to, but I'm probably much more interested in that side of it than most other people. But I sort of think the thing with Just Vapes Live is it's just a group of people that get on well, meeting up on it's much like recording a night in the pub.
I know, this is my substitute for a night in the pub, really. This and shenanigans.
It is for me, and it drives my missus absolutely batty. But I do consistently point out to her that I'm at the bottom of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sat in a pub where she's waiting up for me. I'm at the bottom of the fucking garden.
Yeah, you say that, but my missus is on the bed over there, and she fucking hates it because I do this, and then once I finish this, I'm never off this like straight away. Because the other week, Gordge, you wanted to go pretty swiftly after we finished the session, and then about an hour later, you were still online talking to me.
Yeah. We did drag it on a little bit last week.
Which I will be honest, drives Tony absolutely potter. It bugs the shit out of her.
Well, just remind me towards Christmas, and I'll buy her a bunch of flowers.
I'll be honest, I often go in on a Friday night and the whole house is shut down, and I'm at the stage where I'm thinking that I'm going to come to the back door and find it locked. Which is why I keep a set of keys in the pocket.
I would strongly suggest you look up a short story called There Will Come Soft Rains. If nobody's ever read it, you really should. It's a really good short story. Ray Bradbury.
Yes, that is
actually,
the one I'm thinking of, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The original
Well,
version of it's a lot longer than the Ray Bradbury version. Ray Bradbury version's cut down a lot, but
Yeah, it's very short.
I forget who actually wrote the original, but and the Ray Bradbury version, and then it also features, nicely segueing in to my Fallout segment.
Yep.
It features in Fallout 3 in the Arlington house,
Mm-hmm.
where the robot will tell the story to the young children, who, by the way, are dead and they're just skeletons in bunk beds.
It's actually quite sad, that bit as well, isn't it?
I no, mate. Tell the robot to go and take the dog for a walk.
Yeah, it's it's actually really, really well done, that bit. I'd never seen it before the last time I played it.
This is why you need to explore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is it, the Republic of Dave?
Yep. Dave and his 2 wives. Or was it 3? I forget.
And you're
now.
like, this is a town that is never going to prosper because everybody is incestuous.
But it's funny.
Oh god, what's the other one? At the bottom of the map on the left-hand side, and it's a town and it's 3 houses that you can go into, and they're all cannibals. And
It's not way at the bottom left, but yeah, I know the one you mean.
it's actually sort of central bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not far off from the Nuka-Cola factory.
It's just south of
Just
Fort
along.
Independence, which if
Yep.
you've never played Fallout 3, you really need to go to Fort Independence as quickly as you can, and then any energy weapons you find or any power armor you find, you take it straight back there and swap it for stim packs, because by the time you're level 10, you will have more stim packs than you know what to do with.
Well, you do know what to do with them, but you know.
Yeah, but even I have this thing with Fallout 3, like when I get to a trader and they've got like a laser pistol and it's like 27 caps, I'm like, fucking having that.
I'll
Because I
trade that
know-
for 40 stim packs.
Because I know it will transfer into 3 stim packs, which is like 100 and 131 caps if you don't up your barter.
I don't know. I've never not up to my barter.
I don't bother with barter. I like lockpick science, repair.
Mhm. Sneak.
No, I'm not really sneaky.
I like the sneak attacks though.
I'm more, hi, I have a mini nuke. Would you like to be acquainted with it?
I've never done the heavy weapons one. I must admit.
It is worth it, but it doesn't become worth it until later in the game when they're a lot easier to come by.
Mhm.
Which is why I always advise that you increase small guns very, very quickly in Fallout 3. In New Vegas, you can literally take your picks, guns or energy weapons.
Straight off, yeah.
Because there's a lot of energy weapons straight off, especially if you can make your way towards the Fiends, because they've got shit tons of energy weapons. And you've only got to be level 2 or 3 for plasma rifles to spray.
I'm gonna have to play New Vegas, aren't I?
Guess.
I need, I need to get my computer built. I cannot wait for Christmas.
It'll be like...
When you want to build it, Gords, just let us know and we'll sort you out.
Well, the thought is I've got Christmas coming up and like I say, I've got kids. Well,
yeah.
The plan is to say to anyone that asks, just pop a little bit of money in an envelope and then I can put it towards it. But like I say, my birthday's coming up in February. So I'm planning on getting some stuff for my birthday.
Well, like I say, mate, I mean, you don't need a lot really to build a decent PC. As long as you've got a spare TV or a decent sized screen laying about, 300 quid will get you a pretty decent PC.
Well, that's it. The sort of spec I've come up with comes to about could be 400 quid with the graphics card, but like I said before, what I'm looking at, I don't actually technically need a graphics card to start with. It's something, once I get to March, April or May, I get more work and I can upgrade to a graphics card later on.
Oh, you were looking at one of the AMD APUs, weren't you?
Yeah. The plan is to really splurge on the chip and the memory and the motherboard first, because it would allow you to play stuff at like very low settings, and like the monitor I'm using now, it's a VGA monitor, it's not even an HD monitor. So as long as the motherboard can still do VGA, again, the monitor I can choose. The plan is to put the display over that corner, and next year I'm planning on adding like a decent sofa sort of thing into the summer, because putting the computer down here in the summer house has meant that we have a secondary living room, and part of the idea of the computer is that it forms the entertainment centre for down in the summer house. So like last Saturday, me and my brother were down here messing about with something early on, and then later on the girls came down and they put something on, and we come down and we put Cody on, and we spent a couple of hours down here in the summer house, which is, now the kids are getting older and they go to bed and they go to sleep, rather than them needing us within the night. It means that over a weekend we can come and make use of the summer house, which we weren't able to when we moved into the place. So next year the plan is spend my time making the summer house nice and hospitable and like a secondary, more adult living room that's more our sort of space, and the computer is part of that. But it will also mean that when she's watching shit on telly, I can come down here and game or watch a film or whatever. So it's all stuff that can work.
Are you trying to insinuate that Tony watches shit on TV?
She watches X Factor, Big Brother, Celebrity in Jungle, The Apprentice, Corrie, EastEnders, Emmerdale. I'm not insinuating that she watches shit on telly. She watches shit on telly.
Certainly does.
Not even going to say a word.
So,
I'm quite happy in the fact that like likes NCIS and all that sort of thing.
Don't mind NCIS and stuff.
I fucking hate it. Because I know what's going on and I can solve the crimes like 100 times faster than any of those can, and they've got the equipment, and I'm just working off like physical evidence and hunches. I'm like, he did it, and then it turns out that he did it, and it took him this entire way to get there, and I'm like, put him in an interview room with me. 10 minutes later, you'll have a confession, signed in blood.
but what you miss is that wouldn't actually make an hour-long show.
I know, but that's the thing with CSI and NCIS. Generally, well, CSI more than NCIS. They actually do 2 investigations during one show.
Mm.
So yeah. But yeah, if anybody does want to contribute to Oxymoron Gaming, obviously the caveat is you actually still own the rights to any video that you put up. So if you have your own YouTube channel, you can put it up on there. I'm not going to be pissy about it or anything like that, because we're not a big network that wants to steal your shit and make money off you, because none of our videos are actually monetized. I'm not Machinima. I'm not a cunt. I mean, I am, but not in that way. But obviously, also, it opens up the gates for us to be able to have multiplayer games with regular people rather than just trying to drag in, random Joes every now and then.
See, as and when I'm vaguely interested, but like I say, I will do my own shit at my own time. Unfortunately, I can't say next week I will have a ultimate multimedia fucking mega gaming system. It's, you know what I mean? I'm building up to things, and
yeah, but I mean, this is one of the things I've said from the get-go. I did a lot of my streaming originally straight from the Xbox. Because it has that built into it. And I'm not looking for people who are going to give me 6 videos a week. I'm looking for people who are going to give me 1 video every now and then. Just want to contribute a little. Because it works 2 ways. It helps grow the channel in the fact that we've got more content to give. But it also helps grow the channel in that 9 times out of 10, if somebody else puts something onto a channel, they're going to promote it themselves.
Well, the thing is, if you have 7 people contributing, you have a video a day.
Mate,
Right?
I could do a video a day myself.
Well, yeah, but that means you doing 7 videos a week, and as you say, rendering it and everything else. But
An awful lot of work, isn't it?
you get what I'm saying. If you have only 7 people, and each one of those people only provides a video a week, you still have a video every single day.
So the idea is get content on the YouTube every day. I mean, I got 2 episodes of Final Fantasy VII that need to go out tomorrow because they've been up now for nearly a week. I actually recorded them not last Sunday, the Sunday before. I need to carry on playing it, although as I've had to reboot the system, I'm really hoping that the Steam cloud saves have worked.
They will. They will. Don't worry. Steam Cloud's actually fairly reliable.
You're saying that, but I've got through all the talky shit in Final Fantasy VII. I'm actually into the bit where I actually get to run around and do shit.
If the saves don't come back, you're fucked. Yep.
If the saves don't come back, I've got 3 hours of walking around playing the game for nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy VII. I really,
Mm.
really do. But that first couple of hours kills me every
Yeah.
single time because I've played it that much. You've got to think that game is nearly 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I played it on release day. For 28 hours.
Oh my god.
Which is why when Fatboy says to me, are you going to be alright for your 24-hour live stream? Yep.
I'll
No.
manage.
It's Fallout. Every
Yeah.
time I'm going to feel sleepy, I'm going to come across something and I'm going to be like,
Oh, what's this? I was just gonna go, okay, just this one last mission. Oh, what's that over there?
Well, we actually have a thing going on. Because I said about doing a 24-hour thing, and then Gray was like, you won't do 24 hours. I said I could do 36 if I put my mind to it. And he was like, if you do 36 hours, you can have my left nut.
Really, what do you want with the left nut, though?
Yeah, that's not quite the motivational thing.
I'm thinking on a jar on Fatboy's mantelpiece.
Nice.
Firstly, I don't want that in my house. And secondly, it's just an accomplishment. I'm not an achievement hunter. That's my problem. I'll play a game, and I'm like, the only games I've ever come near 100% completion on, in fact, I have completed 100% on achievement-wise on the Xbox, is Oblivion and Fallout 3. And the only reason I've done that is because I've played through them so many times. Like Fallout 3, I played through it. Well, like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I got over 1,000 hours, probably about 1,500 hours on that game on Xbox alone, let alone the fucking modded to the tits version that I've got.
See, I got my Xbox and I was still drinking. So I played it a bit. I got my Xbox basically because it was something to spend time with my brother. Because my brother, when I was heavily drinking, my brother became very agoraphobic. And the only way to actually communicate with him was via a headset. My brother really is the gamer of the two of us.
I'll change once you get a decent PC.
I brought my Xbox up to Wigan when I moved up to Wigan. But then, probably within 12 months, we were expecting James. And having certainly in my mind, will severely impact your ability to game.
It does.
So now that the kids are starting to get older and do go to bed and go to sleep, I can start to come back. But now it's like, well, actually, for what I need, for what I enjoy doing, what I really need is a PC, not purely a console.
That's the thing, sitting on the couch, playing a console is too easy to have other stuff to, oh wait, that's coming on the telly. Or that. You get a bit more absorbed when you're in a PC and sitting right in front of it and stuff.
It's not that. It's, like I say, my missus watches a lot of TV. So I either have to go up to the bedroom and play and have everything set up in the bedroom, but then the kids are next door, so it's not conducive, or come down here. But in that time, I've started doing more streaming and video stuff, and really, whilst the console's great for playing games, that's really is all a console does. It plays games.
Unless you buy a PS3, because obviously, that plays Blu-rays as well, and that was the big selling point on the PS3.
That's why I bought one. Haven't got it anymore, but
the fact that most multi-platform games perform really terribly on the PlayStation 3 compared to Xbox or PC is, and that's not me being an Xbox fanboy. That's just me being realistic.
Yeah, I had both. Yes, you're right.
Like Fallout, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas. None of these games worked well on the PS3. And it's a shame because I've never really been stuck with one console, like, which is really strange for a British guy to admit, but I had the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo at the same time.
Wow, that was rare.
Yeah, that was really rare because over here you had the Mega Drive. In
Yeah.
the States, they all had the Super Nintendo.
You were either Sega or Nintendo because your parents weren't going to buy you both.
Yeah. Well, I found a workaround. My parents brought us the Mega Drive, and I brought the Super Nintendo from a friend of my mom's for, I think, about 80 quid it cost me at the time, but it came with like 10 games.
Yeah.
2 of those games were Mario Kart, the original Mario Kart, kids. None of this Mario Kart fucking 7, 8 bullshit, yeah? This was the original Mario Kart. There was
The
no
only
before it.
proper Mario Kart.
The original Mario Kart was an absolutely groundbreaking game.
It's great
Oh,
fun.
yeah. It was one of the first games to actually include a proper Mode 7 chip.
It was one of the first games to really actively promote and be the central part of it that you played multiplayer.
Yeah.
It really was. That was the groundbreaking thing about it. Gaming was no longer a person sat in front of a box. Mario Kart was one of the first games to promote up to 4 people playing at the same time. So at the time, that's the whole family. If the family was that way orientated, playing together.
Yep. And yeah, go on.
I was going to say it really was a big deal from that point. It brought the whole family into the idea of gaming.
I mean, that was the thing. I mean, I remember being a kid and having like I think it was one of the original Amigas with Pong. Us kids couldn't fucking get on it. Because my old man and my Uncle Kev, when we went on our camping holiday, well, I say camping, caravan holidays down to Devon, would be sat in the caravan with the little portable TV playing this Pong video game. And it would be like, it's our turn. Hang on, 1 minute, kids, 1 minute, kids. And they'd just be playing each other for hours. It's like, weren't you guys going to the club? You were going to leave us in the caravan, because back in the day, that's what you did. Right, the kids were left in the caravan with something to entertain them, even if it was a pack of cards. Right, and we could make a pack of cards entertain us for hours. We used to play trumps and stuff like that. And then we got the Mega Drive, and we got the one with the inbuilt game, but we didn't get Sonic inbuilt into ours. We got Sonic as a cartridge. We had Alex the Kid inbuilt into ours. My old dear would not get off that game. When she started playing, she would play it until she had lost all her lives, and then she would probably start again. And then we got the Mega Drive, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, but my brother started playing FIFA 94, I think, and you couldn't get him off it then. It was his first sort of real foray into football games, because we'd had Sensible Soccer on the Mega Drive, but it wasn't quite as good as, you know, FIFA 94. And then I bought the Super Nintendo, and I started playing Zelda: Link to the Past. And that game introduced me to RPGs, and ever since then, all I was really interested in was RPG games. Obviously, I've mellowed a little bit now, and I will play like other stuff, but RPG games will still have my heart, just because there's so much that goes into them, including the original Chrono Trigger.
See, the one that really caught me was Syndicate on the Amiga 500.
Mm.
That was a cracking game. I played that through quite a few times.
I've still got it on the PC.
That's one that I will be getting on the PC.
It's good. Get it through Origin. It does all the DOSBox piss for you.
David said, I was one of the idiots that had a first Spectrum and a GameCube. I actually got the GameCube, and I brought the GameCube at just about the right time for somebody who likes Zelda games.
Mm.
Because not only did I get Mario Kart Double Dash with it, but I also got the Zelda Collector's Edition disc with it, which had Zelda, Zelda 2, and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on it. So, what time is it? Oh, fucking hell.
10 o'clock. Just
Right.
after.
I think this is probably a good time to wrap up, because now we're waffling. We've had a really in-depth conversation about religion, and now we're just waffling about video games consoles that we used to own.
It does degenerate into that quite often, though, doesn't it?
It's the only thing I am fucking good at, alright? I can have in-depth conversations about anything for a very short period of time.
Mm.
But once it gets too far into it, it will always degenerate into video games, because that's what I know. So I will leave you all with this fact. Resident Evil Nemesis was the last proper Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 4 actually ruined the franchise. Hideo Kojima has been fucking screwed over by Capcom. And Metal Gear Solid will never ever see the light of day again. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really, really good game, and if you haven't already had the chance, you should really go out and play it. I'm looking into the microphone, so I don't look into the camera, because if I look into the camera, I'm going to break my concentration on what I'm trying to say. And Nintendo 64 and Sega Dreamcast were probably two of my favourite consoles, even though everybody slates them to this day. Sega Saturn can go and do one. Martin, would you like to say goodbye? And feel free to elaborate on any gaming-related topics you would like to talk about.
I shouldn't, but Battlefront, Fallout 4. That'll do for that, because I'll just get all Star Wars geeky again. Thanks for watching.
Just look awesome.
Oh, it is. That beta was brilliant.
Actually, forget the goodbyes, right? We've got to touch on this, right?
Okay.
Just so I can get a couple of sound bites for a future video, which I hope you don't mind me using.
No. Tentatively.
What were your impressions of the beta? Because last time we spoke was a Friday when it had only literally just...
That's right. I hadn't had much of a shot of it. It was brilliant. It was really, really, really enjoyable. It had that Star Wars feel to it properly. The Battle for Hoth bit was amazing. It was an uphill struggle against the Empire, exactly the way it should have been. Yes, it was really, 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 really hard to win as the Rebels, but it could be done. But yeah, it was phenomenally good fun.
You say that though. I never actually lost as the Rebels. I only ever once lost as the Empire.
Oh, see, I don't know. It's probably just the teams you got stuck with, sort of thing. But yeah, it just always seemed to be. It was psychos running about looking for kill-death ratios.
Yeah, with the Rebels, you've literally got to utilize the disc cannons, and you've got to get those X-wings in the air.
Yeah.
Right, if you don't, then you're dead in the war.
It was really tricky to do that, because you had to actually get, a fair distance. I only spotted a couple of the X-wing sort of pickups, and they were really, really far up the map. And by the time you actually got to them, usually the Empire players were at that point already. So yeah,
it was real quick. I mean, I was lucky in the fact that the people I was playing with when I was playing as Rebels were all talking to one another. Which is a very important part of these sort of games. And also, they'd all been playing it since the beta had released, and they were all like, right, we need to make sure we are all over here. And if you weren't there, they were shouting at you as if, you know, you were.
What the hell are you
fucking
doing,
idiot.
you fucking idiot? Yeah.
And then, like, as soon as you jumped in, because I just fucking followed blindly, because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys obviously know what you're talking about. I'm going to follow you. And then it was a case of, yeah, we need to get X-Wings in the air. We need to take down these. If you haven't got an X-Wing, get to the dish cannons and make sure you target on the fucking 80.
Mhm. But yeah, that was missing, and most of the teams.
To be
that I
fair,
played, so.
that's very much Empire Strikes Back.
But that's it. It had that feel of the proper battle in
Yeah.
Hoth because it was such an uphill struggle. As the
If you
rebel
think about Empire
side.
Strikes Back, the rebels were absolutely on their ass.
Yeah, they were on the back foot the entire time.
You know, that was the whole point of that film, that the rebels were absolutely facing extinction.
Outmatched, yeah,
So,
completely.
I
But
think
yeah,
they've done a good job with the game to
yes.
give that feeling, because that is how it is. And
Not only that, technically wise, like I said, I'm not all that far above minimum specs. Let's say I've got a GTX 570, which is old enough now. It runs pretty much everything quite well. But I had Battlefront running on basic medium settings. And it still looked wonderful. It was smooth, it played well, everything looked good. It was, it's really quite impressive.
And I'd just like to point out, this is a beta. Right?
Yeah.
So this isn't the final build of the game.
So, yeah, I mean, betas are traditionally not fully optimized graphically and whatnot as well. So for that running quite so smoothly on my system, I was quite pleased.
Because I found a few quibbles with the Xbox version. Sometimes a few of the... Because I played a little bit of the single-player stuff as well.
I did that too. That was fun, but only 6 waves, which was a bit meh. Once you'd done it once or twice, it was...
Yeah.
But following on from what I was saying, you were playing the beta version, which I've only watched videos of it. I've not been in a position to play it. But you have got to think that presumably you're not getting the full context of the 2 levels that you were able to play, because there were 2 standalone levels.
Yeah.
Presumably within the game, there will be more put into context of a story.
I kind of hope that they do something like that. I kind of think the game, but yeah, like a progression type thing. You do the Death Star run, and you'll have to do the Battle of Hoth, then the Battle for Endor type thing.
Well, like traditional
map structure, yeah.
Traditional Battlefront was you played a campaign, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Did it single player?
Yeah.
So you would have that. Hopefully, it's an indication that you'll have that context of you're playing as the rebels, so you're struggling through A New Hope, and then you do Battle of Hoth and whatever else they do for Empire Strikes Back, and then you do Return of the Jedi. And
it would be quite cool if they did that. I don't know if they will, though.
You'll have that context of, if you play as the rebels, you're pissing about from base to base, hiding, always on the back foot. You haven't got the technology, you haven't got the advantage, and that is the thing of the films. It's like A New Hope. They had a smuggler in a cargo ship aiding some people that got together, some starfighters, and they were struggling to put them together, and they took down the Death Star. And that is the story. It's a battle against the established oppressor.
Yeah, insurmountable odds and whatnot. And
so on. Yeah. So, to me, from what I saw of it, it kind of indicates that they're getting the feel of the story, because everyone said, well, it's really, really hard as rebels, and it's not as hard when you're the Empire. Well, it shouldn't be, because the Empire has got practically infinite resources.
So yeah, that's it. That's the feel that level needed to make it like the film, almost.
The only thing I can say that goes against the film version is, whilst playing as a snowtrooper, I am actually able to shoot the rebels.
Yes, you don't miss every shot.
I did find, however, that I'm not as accurate as when I'm playing as the rebels.
um,
Now, I don't know whether that was just me being shitty because I'm playing as the Empire and I don't really like the Empire, but I mean, it's like Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if anybody ever played it.
No.
I constantly played as either a rebel or a smuggler. And I like playing as the smugglers because you got the YT-1300. Which, if nobody knows what a YT-1300 is, then you're really not that much of a Star Wars geek.
The Millennium Falcon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but you can get an upgraded version of it, which isn't as good.
But the
1300D.
Millennium Falcon had severely boosted engines, whereas there were many YT-1300s who were like Ford Escorts.
The Ford Escorts of Star Wars.
Well,
Brilliant.
Ford Transits, to be fair, to take the analogy properly, read the books, seriously. The Star Wars universe, the books, are fantastic. If you're into reading, it's well worth following. And there's some cracking authors
That reminds me
series as well.
what the missus bought me for my birthday.
Ooh.
It's shiny. It's actually really good too. Takes everything from all the Clone Wars cartoons and everything and pulls it all together.
No, seriously, I do. Anyone who likes reading, because particularly the big series, there's a massive series that's set after the films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Admiral Thrawn books and whatnot. Yeah.
No, the one I'm thinking of is the New Jedi Order series,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
which is Han and Leia have had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not much of a spoiler, but Han and Leia have had kids. Luke has met someone, and eventually they have a kid. And I do recommend reading all those because they would make a fantastic film series. They really would.
The only thing that ever really confused me about this whole thing, right? Han and Leia having a kid, that's fine, because Leia really never went in for her Jedi training, even though she has Jedi powers.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the entirety of the films, Luke is referred to as the final Jedi and this, that, and the other, which is obviously false because Leia is Leia. Right? She is the daughter of Darth Vader, and probably spoilers if you've never seen the prequels.
They've had fucking 10 years.
I know, spoilers are a bit moot at this point.
But Luke having a kid kind of confuses me a little bit, mainly because Jedis are not allowed.
They're not supposed to. Yes, yeah. It's
Now,
part of the Jedi code.
I know
that you
he's the
don't
last
love,
Jedi.
You
and
don't
all,
have feelings as such.
But
and as such, the Jedi powers are not genetically transferred. The Jedi powers are just something you're either born with or you're not.
yeah, but the books explain a lot of this quite well. They get past this. It's quite possible for two people who are non-force sensitive to have force sensitive children. So whilst yes, the films portrayed there was only one Jedi left, the fact was there wasn't. There was still force sensitive people being born, but unaware.
Mm-hmm. Unaware of it
of
and
their,
untrained. Yeah.
possibilities. And the books after the films focus on that, but also focus on aspects of the universe that aren't explored within the films. Like the Emperor was force sensitive, we know that.
That explains the lightning.
Yeah. But the Emperor, being force sensitive, also recruited force sensitives. and there's also the Dark Jedi, which aren't touched at all in the films.
Mhm.
Seriously, in that one series alone that I'm talking about, there's 26 books, and then there's books after the mainstay of that series that focus on the aftermath of that, and there's about 20 books in that, and then there's lots of Star Wars adventures that start before the films and flit about within the films and form afterwards. There's not really the characters that are in the films, it's other parts of the universe. Like I say, it is the whole series, taking the films in and all the books and the games and everything else, because everything does tie in. It's massive.
Actually, while we're on the subject, and while I'm talking to two people who would probably understand what I'm talking about, because I could try and breach this conversation with Fatboy, but unfortunately, I think he's too far into MGS lore to understand Star Wars.
The whole understanding Star Wars. You know, the first film I ever seen in the cinema, Empire Strikes Back. I was 3 years old and I still remember it.
I
That's
was
because
at a
it's
friend's house and they had a video recorder and we watched it on a video.
Mate, I can remember going around my nan and granddad's, and my auntie used to have the original widescreen versions on VHS
Mhm.
because
had
they
them too.
showed more than the standard VHS version because you got more of the screen.
What sort of not getting the black lines at the top and the bottom, eh?
Yeah, you get your black lines at the top and the bottom, but everything was slightly smaller on the screen, but you got more of it, and it
It was
was...
only the widescreen edition that you could see the TIE fighter disappear in the trench run on Return of the Jedi.
Yes, you could. But getting back to what I was thinking about,
Sorry.
there is a fan theory that Han Solo might be Force sensitive,
Yes, there is.
Ah.
That's been going around for a while.
which
His
would,
luck. Mhm.
which would make sense with the fact that not only is he an accomplished pilot, but the fact that he managed to make his way through the asteroid field.
No. It could
That
be
fan theory's been going around for a while,
it
though.
could be a fan theory, but no,
It's never mentioned, so
it's not.
books-wise.
No, in some of the stories, he's tried to do things with Luke, and his kids are force sensitive, and he isn't. It always goes back to his luck and his ability to survive. He's got a very strong survivor instinct, but they never go towards the idea that he's force sensitive.
Also, while we're talking about Han Solo, does anybody know why Han Solo and Chewie are so close?
Yeah, because Han Solo rescued Chewie, so Chewie owes Han Solo a life debt.
That's it, Life Debt. I was trying to think of the name there.
That actually goes on to Chewie's son carrying on that life debt.
Yeah, because with Wookiees, that life debt is because they're a very proud race, and they're a very strong race as well. Wookiees, and
A very modern.
you only really encounter Chewbacca throughout the main story of Star Wars. There's a couple of Wookiees that are thrown in here and there, but they're more just to pad out, just to show that Chewbacca's not the only one.
Yeah, they actually go through all that stuff quite well in the Knights of the Old Republic games.
They do, and they allude to that in the first three films. Well, the first three films in the series, they allude to that with Yoda being very friendly with the Wookiees.
Yoda's actually a character that kind of he speaks in fragmented, backward sentences, but the funny thing about Yoda is he's the last of his race.
It's never mentioned, is it?
But
He's just very, very, very old.
But you never ever hear about anybody else of Yoda's race, so you don't know what race
No.
Yoda actually is.
Don't know what race Yoda is. It's never mentioned.
Hmm.
That's all.
It just seems strange that somebody who could be the only one of their kind in the known verse, and yes, I'm throwing in fucking Firefly references here. It is. I mean, yeah, oh, okay. He is a kick-ass fucking Jedi. He is the kick-ass Jedi. Okay,
Well, because his midichlorian count is so high.
don't mention midichlorians. They didn't exist until the prequels.
Hey,
Yeah,
What's
but
that?
not mentioned before the prequels because the prequels understand the science of Jedi understanding.
They were added for the prequels to trying to explain to an Americanized audience how this power came about, because American audiences don't understand just having a power.
I know, just take it as,
No,
this is it. They need it explained.
to me, it's more, if you think about it, the Empire actively exterminated the Jedi. They attacked the library, they wiped out the library. The Jedi had a Jedi library. The Jedi were a high caste within the Republic.
I thought it was Anakin who destroyed the library.
Which was
Yeah,
that.
but he was under the control of the dark side by that point.
Well, you say under the control of.
Or influenced, at least, or what
Yeah.
have you.
He was just being a cunt.
Yeah.
He became part of the progenitor of the Empire.
Mhm.
But the Empire, because we know that Palpatine was the head of the Sith,
And the Senate.
he sneaked in to be part of the Senate, but you have to understand that he was a Sith and the head of the Senate, not the head of the Senate and a Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jedi, how it seems to me, they had an understanding of what they needed to measure to understand if someone was force sensitive. Then the midichlorian count was much like, going back to vaping, you can measure cotinine to see whether someone is a smoker or not. You can do Bob and measure the cotinine count and establish if they are a smoker or not. And midichlorians are much like that. It's like a genetic marker.
I love the fact that you've actually brought it back to real world science. Real world science. That is absolutely fantastic, George. And bonus XP for you.
I like Star Wars.
I fucking love Star Wars, mate. The only thing I will breach is there can only be one true Sith.
Two.
Well, yeah, you have the Master and then you have the Apprentice.
What's complicated is you have Sith, and then you can also have Dark Jedi.
Yes. But is there an equivalent in Jedi?
Not that I've seen.
Because it would seem to me that Luke is portrayed as the opposite of the Sith, especially considering that the Sith in question is his daddy.
The best way I can explain it is think about Jewish people in World War II in Germany. The Jedis are the Jewish people.
Execution.
They know that the Jedis, or they might have an idea that the Jedis, but they hide the facts and smuggle themselves out. So that's what goes back to what I was saying before. Luke was the only known Jedi at that time, or only active Jedi, but there were people that had the potential to be Jedis here, there and everywhere. But remember, the Jedis, when there was a Jedi Academy, were actively searching for Force-sensitive people, recruiting them and training them because they understood that an uncontrolled Force user was a risk. So they sought to find people and help them control their powers and steer them towards the best use for society. The Empire wiped all that out. But does that mean that the Empire didn't use Force sensitives themselves?
Well, you never know, really, do you? I mean, let's face it. I mean, honestly, I've never known a stormtrooper able to actually hit somebody. But
Read the books. There was actually a Force sensitive stormtrooper regiment. There were stormtroopers that were Force sensitive, so presumably they could hit something as well.
It's like the books, though, isn't it? Because after Darth Vader or Anakin, however you want to describe him, and if this is a fucking shock to you and you're watching this video back, this has been around for like longer than we've probably all been alive.
The first Star Wars came out before I was born.
Yeah. Right? So this has all been out there, okay? Right? So there are no fucking spoilers here, because this is fucking Star Wars. And
Seriously, if you don't know this, we cannot be responsible for your ignorance.
Exactly. After Darth Vader, in the books, obviously, another Sith rises to be the apprentice, because Darth Vader, as we know, is the apprentice.
I know who rises.
So I strongly suggest you go and read the books.
Yes. Darth Vader actually had a Force-sensitive stormtrooper squadron.
But did you also know that Lando Calrissian's real original name, before it got changed, was actually going to be Skywalker? Hence the whole Cloud City and this, that, and the other. And then they changed it to Calrissian, which is, I'm not, is a great character, brilliant character. A little bit miffed as to why he wears Han Solo's exact outfit in that one scene, because I don't think smugglers are quite like Jedi, where they've all got the same outfit.
No.
He go and watch the film back, and when he's in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, Lando Calrissian is actually wearing Han Solo's exact outfit.
Arguably, when he's in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, he's wearing a Rebel uniform. But the Rebels have various uniforms. They have the orange jumpsuits for when they're flying X-Wings.
X-Wings, A-Wings, Y-Wings.
Yeah, but when you're in a pressurised vessel that you can walk around in, I think it's more like he was in the uniform of a captain or an admiral of a fleet, rather than a fighter pilot in a G suit. Because that's what the orange suits were, essentially, G suits.
Yeah, but really go and watch it back, because he is actually wearing Han Solo's exact outfit, and this has been commented on many, many times. And
yeah, but Han Solo was, oh fucking hell, where was he from? Han Solo was from a military series of planets, and Han Solo was originally a naval officer from that planet, and then the Empire happened, and he had to get out of Dodge fast. So Han Solo's suit is actually a naval officer's suit, or an analogue of a naval officer's suit, because that was what he was comfortable in.
I will say this though, Han Solo's suit is what I would cosplay if I ever went to anything, because being a Vapor, it's got shit tons of pockets on it.
Yeah. So Han Solo's suit, whilst I agree with you, it's Han Solo's suit, doesn't need to be unique to Han Solo, because the backstory is that Han Solo knew Lando Calrissian because they were of the same planet. So they were, I think the backstory is they were both officers of the same naval force. So they might have just been wearing what was familiar to them as naval officers.
I'd just like to cut in for a second.
Was it
and say,
Calrissian that they were from?
Don't remember.
Right, I need to know that because I know this.
I will cut in though and say, do you hear this, Hollywood? Black people and white people can be friends. Not only can they be friends, they can grow up together and they can both be good people. Lando Calrissian may have turned his back on Han Solo for a moment during the whole...
They sold him out.
Yeah, but he then repented for that. And he sold him out for the right reasons. It's not like he just sold him out because they offered him...
They were both from Corellia.
Yeah. Basically, Lando Calrissian didn't sell Han Solo and that lot out just because he sold them out, because if he hadn't, then the whole of Cloud City would have been destroyed. So it's always that lesser of two evils sort of thing. So it's kind of weird. But then, staying on the Star Wars topic, does anybody know what the different coloured lightsabers actually mean?
Yeah, it's down to the Jedi's. Jedi's build their own lightsabers.
Yes, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, you can't be a Jedi without learning to assemble your lightsaber. But basically, you source a power crystal, and the different power crystals, largely it's just down to the choice of the user. It's not a case of red means bad and blue means good. That was just what the two users in the last three films happened to choose to use. But generally red does signify someone who is closer to the dark side than the light side. But the different colours largely are down to the user's persona really.
It's actually put down to the style of force that people use. So some people who are force sensitive decide to focus mainly on their swordman skills. So they have a coloured lightsaber. I think it's orange. I'm not 100% sure. I keep forgetting what's what. And then others will, because the lightsaber colours go throughout the entire spectrum.
I think that purple's generally people who are more they have more of an empathy towards living beings or living creatures. They tend to be more healers.
There is only actually one purple lightsaber throughout the entirety of the series.
Sam Jackson.
And that is because... Anybody? Because after that major battle scene where you've got like 20 Jedis going up against the Trade Empire at the point, in the arena scene, Sam Jackson wanted to be able to actually point out which one he was. So he asked purposely for a purple lightsaber, which was the only color lightsaber that had never been attributed to anything.
Nice.
And of course, it's Samuel L. Jackson. Who was a British actor, would be called Sir Samuel L. Jackson.
Indeed. Because he's that badass.
In fact, if I was king, he would still be called Sir Samuel L. Jackson.
I am going to need to run, because it's getting late.
That's fine. I think it's actually time we end this, because we've run about an hour over what we were planning to.
By at 9 o'clock.
It's only 20 to 11.
Right.
Right.
So we will do our actual final goodbyes. Martin, would you like to start?
Final goodbyes.
Gauze?
Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for putting up with us. We hope we've not offended people too much. and we'll see you next week.
I cannot agree with anything that George just said. I quite hope we did offend you, and if we did offend you, then please leave a comment in the comments box below. That's kind of what it's for. We don't disable it on purpose. I am quite happy for an internet war with somebody. On another note, if you did find anything you find here in entertaining, don't be shy. Like, share, favorite, and comment, and enjoy. There's a lot of tripe on this YouTube channel. That's probably, hopefully, going to change once I get some people who can actually contribute. So if you do want to contribute to Oxymoron Gaming, please send us a message or whatnot, and we will sort something out. And thank you very much for watching. Everybody say your goodbyes. Wave your good